Okay, hey there, peeps. I'm trying something new. I Before coming down to Mexico City, where I'm still currently am. Today's Wednesday, my third day here. I arrived on Monday morning, and I'm here all week. And just wanted to give you guys an update while I'm down here in Mexico City. People told me I've been a little too quiet, so here I am, sitting in the lobby of the hotel that I'm staying at. Let's see if I can get you guys a little more background. I'm in this fairly nice, decent hotel. This is a restaurant with kind of semi-indoor, outdoor atmosphere. So, and here is the downstairs. So let me take a seat here and chat with you guys for a second. So this is one of the main streets in downtown Mexico City. I'm not too far from the National Palace, and we are here for a weeks-long meeting with government officials. I didn't get vetted in time, so I got my production team. Lyle Howery, who's my lead producer for La Matadora, and Kevin Robinson, who represents his company, Vibrant Visions, live entertainment and concerts. And he's the one that brought the idea to the government of Mexico about a film. And so they invited me to come down here and make a movie. I answered that call, that invite, by creating the screenplay with T.C. DeWitt. I hired him to screenplay, map out, and script out the storyline that I created for La Matadora. And that took only a weekend and a half to completely have a full script. Also, within that 2.5 week period, inside of 20 days, I had not only the script, but the budget, the film shoot schedule, everything done that would take normally a year to put together. We did it in 20 days. So that's how fast the call to action was met when they asked me to come down and make a movie down there. That was in the beginning, first week of March, and before March was over, I had everything done with this project. So if that's not producing, I don't know what is. I mean, people really doubt that I'm a producer. So it will be said by my actions. And my point being is that what we got done with my team and me learning and knowing when to step out of the way and not trip over anything myself, I hired Lyle Howery from Skinfly Entertainment to go ahead and be the lead producer in front of me. So this way we can get things done much faster, and things were happening so fast anyways. I had to regress, get out of the way, and put somebody that's got more than 200 film credits under his belt in front of me. So it is he and J.K. Robinson that are meeting with the government officials, and we're here now talking funding scenarios. If anything, I don't tout myself as a filmmaker, producer. I'm more what they call a producer, but the executive level or executive producers handle all the purse strings and finances. I bring money to my projects, and as such, I have a couple announcements I want to make here from Mexico City. So let me just little ambiance here, and get away from all the street noise and go back into the lobby here. So I'm down here in Mexico City all week long, and we are here on a special economic bilateral, meaning the U.S. Is involved with economic trade talks, business-wide trade talks, B2B, they call it business to business. And the idea is to collaborate on things going on in the United States. But one big thing that I'm finding out as I do my research, the film industry is huge down here in Mexico. That's why they asked me to come down. And it is no wonder why they're getting ready to make money moves and power moves in cinema. And that my feature film is going to be showcased as paving the way for a renaissance going on in cinema in Mexico. So the idea is for me to bring a movie down here into Mexico, produce it down here, and make it a Mexican-made film so they can exploit it to the rest of the world and get Academy Awards. This film is already under the press releases that have been generated so far. Everyone is talking Oscars buzz. Anyone that has read the script, that's all we have right now, and we're already at Oscars level buzz talk. So I can't wait till we start filming. We'll start filming as soon as we reach an agreement here this week with the government officials. And I always say government officials. We're at the highest level of government, which includes the ministries or the ministers of economics here. They're the ones that have the ability to issue government grants from public funding to sponsor filmmaking. So what I'm putting together and I'm gathering is that there's several, I was going to call them tax credits. They're not tax rebates. There's cash rebates in the form of them calling them refunds. So the idea is for me to come down here, produce the movie in Mexico so that Mexico can exploit it to the rest of the world as a product of Mexico, number one. Because of that, I qualify for a grant, government funding. And that grant is just like in the grants that you're hearing in the news back over in the U.S., that the Trump administration is pulling grants from colleges and research abilities. Those are government grants. Those are monies that don't have to be paid back. Same principle here. I get a grant from the government of Mexico and make a movie here. So I'll get that. Then I get incentives to come down here and produce the movie and hire local talent, hire Mexican directors and filmmakers and talent and Mexican film crews. And they're very capable because Mexico is advancing so fast in the film industry. That's why Netflix funded them $1 billion earlier this year. And this is why we're down here. There's a lot of money being poured into cinema right now, and I'm helping pave that way through our next project. And this project is such of a cultural entity of a film project. It meets all the standards, and it's kind of ironic how I really feel blessed. I really feel blessed that God's hand is in this, because coincidentally, ironically, I've stumbled upon some stuff this year that for 2025 that all I have to do is look up and just praise God for everything that's been bestowed upon me. Earlier this year, I was accepted an appointment to work with Exodus Entertainment Bancorp. That's the company name that I onboarded an appointment for, get this, my title's dubbed Director of Culture, People and Culture. And it's an interesting title. It took me a while to accept it, but apparently my CEO, Kevin Kinsey from Exodus, gave me that title when he saw a similar ad in the industry from Warner Brothers, the studio. They were putting it out there that they were looking for to fulfill a position of people and culture, and he thought that that title suited me very well, and it does. And if you think about it, I'm taking that to the nth degree by saying um, the people and culture director of gives me that ability to be an executive admin at Exodus Entertainment, and yet not to be so lofty or out of touch with the people, but as an executive in the movie industry at a studio, that I have my ear to the ground and I'm at the people level. I'm not some lofty executive, as I was saying. And the cultural part is that I represent that. So my eye and ears and mind are open to what's trending, what's culturally moving in a direction that represents culture, and anything that's rich in this area, I am naturally attracting. So me being here in Mexico, doing the things that are very there's a lineage of ancient history that still prevails and permeates through today in our architecture and stuff. I mean, the United States is coming up on a bicentennial next year of what, 250 years in existence as a government, when Mexico was founded, at least the way we know it today, more than 500 years ago. So it's a little bit older than the United States. So it's culturally rich here with heritage, and I got my eyes and ears open for all of that. The things that I'm doing to generate content up in my home area, Los Angeles. I'm with the I call it the Promoter Series. It's a reality-based TV show that I'm filming content here and there for, and with that said, that's a cultural dive into what's happening now. I'm featuring an aspect of the nightlife that no one has ever seen because it's overlooked. You know, I reside near East LA, so my social environment. People ask me why do I keep going out to the nightclubs. Well, I've been going to nightclubs since I was 16 years old, and I'm 60 now, so actually 62. So it has become my community of my culture. It's I love music. I love dancing to the music, and there's a certain scene going on right now in the East LA community that is its own vibe, and it's a resurgence of the underground scene, while everyone else is doing this Vegas type vibe, even in Hollywood. You know, it's all silliness. You know, it's sloppy, it's loose. There's no rhythm to it. There's no method to the dancing styles. People just sit there like zombies in front of the DJ booth and just, you know, sway to the music. That's not dancing. Or the other stuff that's going on with the stupid, I call it suggestive dance, and all they're doing is dropping it like it's hot, showing how low they can get to the floor and swing their butts and do what is that butt shake thing? You guys know what, twerking. That's stupid shit, man. What I'm talking about, what I'm capturing on camera, is something that I just found out. You can look it up on YouTube. It's called whacking, whack dancing. It's almost like Vogue dancing, jazz dancing, very methodic, the swinging of the hands and moving the feet to the beat of the music, and snapping like that poses, kind of like what crumping is and pop locking, but it's called whacking. So Uh, it is big in the East LA underground scene. If you can whack dance to a lot of 80s music um, and 90s, the freestyle, the high energy music, uh, the new wave, that's where it's at right now. So you got older people like me, like, yeah, they make fun of us, but I'm telling you, us older group, we can outdance all these younger people that don't even know what it means to dance to a beat. You know, they look like zombies on the dance floor, ain't doing shit, man. You see the videos that I put out there, you're seeing raw underground content. You know, never heard before on the radio. This kind of music that took place in the 80s and 90s. This is real underground music being played today, and that's a preservation of a culture that I'm bringing to film. And hopefully, in my position at Exodus, anything that I like, all I have to do is make the pitch to my CEO and the other directors, department heads, and I can place any content for streaming, for television, and certainly for film. But my big thing is what we do at Exodus. We're a many major studio, and um, we've evolved from a lot of the uh, urban type films that we started out with about 15 years ago, 20 years ago. A lot of our films are that what they call the black exploitation, black comedy, and urban films. But the first breakout movie that we have this coming month in September, will be The Senior. The Senior with Mike Chiklis and oh shoot, what is her name? The actress's name? Mary Stuart Matheson. She played in the movie Can't Buy Me Love, so it was a cool movie. But anyways, Mike Chiklis from The Shield, and it's a true story about a football player at the age of 59 decides to go back to college and try out for the football team. So it's a combination of Rodney Dangerfield's movie Back to School and a movie called Rudy, a football movie. And on IMDb, it's gotten good ratings. In fact, it is such a good movie that the reason why he got kicked out of college is because he was a hothead. He used to get in fights, so he got expelled before the championship game, and he wasn't able to play the championship game in the loss. So he's lived with that. At the age of 59, he decides to go back to college, get his degree, and try out for the game again. And it's a feel-good movie about redemption, about changing one's life, like me, like a story like mine. And it's so good of a story, and it got such a high rating on film festivals that Angel Studios, who's put out nothing but a lot of good faith-based theatrical release movies, big box office movies, like The Sound of Freedom, Cabrini, a couple other movies that escape me, but they've done some really major films. So Angel Studios is distributing The Senior for us. September 19th, The Senior, okay? Mark my words. That is our film in production with Wayfarer Studios and Angel Studios and Exodus Studios. So that'll be our breakout into the mainstream box office hits. Then we got my movies. We got Matadora, La Matadora, the bullfighting movie. We have Crypto Kings on slate, and I have some other projects that I've already brought to the table. In fact, I just had a meeting where we closed a horror film that I brought to the table as well, and we're going to distribute that through Freestyle Releasing, which is a Byron Allen media company, and they're our partners for streaming. So we're arriving at a deal of a movie called The Movers, as a movie company, The Movers, and it stars Terrence Howard, and he's the lead actor in that one, and Jenna Malone from Game of Thrones. So I brought that movie to the table, and we closed that deal. So you're gonna see that in the theaters. It's already a completed movie, so we're gonna distribute and do the P&A marketing in that one, The Movers. I also had a deal where T.C. DeWitt, he's got a movie called The Demon Detective, and so I brought that to Exodus as well. But they ended up going with another distributor who offered them more money up front, so they got that going. But congratulations to TC, because TC DeWitt is the writer of my screenplay La Matadora. So right now he and I hold the rights to La Matadora, and we're getting it done. And he wrote a wonderful, wonderful script. So now I was able to get TC he's on air staff writer over at Exodus Entertainment, and for me at CK Film Co. That's my LLC production company. So out of all this stuff, I've been able to put together a production company myself. That's the benefit. Let me see, we're at 20 minutes. I gotta be quick here, but another update for 2025. I mentioned Crypto Kings. I just got an email confirming, because people are asking me about this. In fact, some people thought it was going nowhere. The thing is, I've been low-key about this because I couldn't talk about something that people keep beating me up on, because it was in hiatus. Look, Crypto Kings, let me say this publicly. I've been working on Crypto Kings since 2018. 2019, the script was written by Ben Gross. He did a wonderful job writing the script, but the story was developed in 2018. I registered the treatment of it, and then Ben Gross was hired to write the screenplay for Crypto Kings, and that's what we have right now. So since officially 2019, it's taken 6 years. But let's look at those 6 years past. You had COVID. That lasted about 4 years, from 2020 to 2019. But let's go to 2024. 2023, we're ending COVID officially in 2024. So all those years, we couldn't do anything. Hollywood was hit. And then last year, in 2024, in the latter part, they had 2 strikes. One with the writers, and then one with the actors. How stupid is that? That ruined a lot of productions that held back, that Hollywood is still recovering from the backlash of the backload that it generated. So the movie industry is not doing so well, but I have product that's ready to go. So they're looking at me because I have this content, and they're big, what they call tentpole films. Okay, it's the pole that you raise your flag on. It stands high. These are big budget films. Okay, La Matadora is a $35 million film just on production. When you add the P&A and distribution, you're looking at a $70 million film. Okay, Crypto Kings, $50 million film on the production. But the news update is I received an email that we're filing with the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission, a Form S1, as in Sam 1. A Form S1. All you Wall Street friends of mine understand what I'm talking about. It will be the first, Crypto Kings will be the first publicly listed company for investment, for shares to be sold on NASDAQ. Okay? First Hollywood film in history will be Crypto Kings. This is why I've been waiting quietly on the sidelines. Crypto Kings was on park so it can go through all the strictures and compliances with a new asset class of shares called IIPROs. in an initial, like an IPO initial uh, offering. Okay, this is initial initial IP for intellectual property, IIPRO, IP initial intellectual property rights offering. I'm saying this real slow to you guys because this is a new securities that was generated off the model of a REIT, REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust shares, where people invest in a group of shares to purchase what? Real estate. Okay? Same thing here. It takes millions and millions of dollars for a film to get funded. And so with that, we've taken the REIT concept and developed shares, fractional shares for intellectual properties. So there it is. The first IIPRO, okay? So initial intellectual property rights offering for Crypto Kings. And we had to go through a bunch of red tape to get approval to create these new shares, which are a new asset class for investment and already approved by SEC with the launch of IPSE. That's Intellectual Properties Securities Investment Bank. Okay? That investment bank will issue the shares of Crypto King stock to the public for investment. I don't know how any simpler to explain that is so. Number one, I had to wait for the investment bank, which I'm a partner in. That's why you heard me early on months ago last year promoting IPSE, IPOers, a chance to work for an investment bank, distributing shares at the private equities level. I know I'm talking big stuff to all you guys, and it's because of that a lot of you missed the boat. You guys didn't believe in what I was saying to you guys. It was foreign to you, and so you weren't about the smart money. The smart money looks at what I have going on instead of looking at me. That's dumb money. If you're going to be a dumb money investor, the smart money people are the ones that call dumb money investors dumb money people, because they invest based on emotion, track record of the person, the character, and they don't take any risk. They are in essence risk adverse people. Smart money people aren't risk adverse. They look at the risk, but they look behind me to see what's going on. Who's behind me? What am I really talking about here, Rich? I'm talking about opening a bank, an investment bank that will issue shares to the stock market. Okay, so IPSE will be open next month, and then the first product out of that bank will be Crypto Kings IIPRO shares for investment generated by IPSE Bank. And we're the only game in the market. For the next 10 years, we have a patent. Yep, we're the only game in the market that anyone can invest in intellectual properties. And my fellow filmmaker friends didn't understand either that I can fund endless amounts of films by anything I bring to the table to IPSE Bank. So I'm a power player. I'm living the life that I've been wanting to live for many years, to be a mover and shaker in the industry of film. I discovered that 30 years ago when I was driving limousines, and I drove executives for major movies like Boys in the Hood, the movie Ghost, and I would overhear the conversations that these guys were shot callers making all the moves behind camera. Okay? I said, man, I want to be one of those guys. I don't want to be in front of the camera. I want to be a mover and shaker. And guess what, guys? I'm living that life. Although my life took a detour. I was only 25 years old driving limousines. My father died when I was 25. So the reason why I mention that and being that young, 25 years old, because the limo companies, we had a string of limos for my father. You would have thought that a movie star memorial service was in play here. It was a beautiful memorial for my father. Anyway, then I knew I wanted to be a mover shaker, and here I am. God bless me with this. My detour was I spent 15 years in prison. I did something stupid, and that stupid thing was I was a courier. They call it a mule, drug runner, whatever you want to do, call it. I did it. I did the crime. I paid my price. I paid my debt to society, and my life ever since coming out of prison, fully at 2006, has been on the road to redemption. I've been trying to get my life back and prove that I can contribute to society in a positive way. So here I am doing it. And so Crypto Kings will be coming out. IPSE, the investment bank, will be open. So I'm in the position of, the reason why I'm saying now who I am from who I used to be is I'm a high financier. High finance means this. The difference between just being a financier in the film business is that I've elevated it to the level of, with IPSE and my involvement in partnership with IPSE Investment Bank, being an IPOer, that I'm able to get involved in high finance, which takes movies, big budget films, I'm talking 70 million and above, I will be taking as an IPO to invest with IPSE Investment Bank to issue shares on any big tentpole film. I can take films from $70 million threshold all the way up to 300, 400, 500 million dollar films. Okay? Not only that, I have that outlet to, as an executive over at Exodus Entertainment, a film executive, of being able to distribute and do the P&A marketing as a production studio for Exodus. And not only that, I got my own production company called CK Film Co. CK standing for Crypto Kings, okay? I just don't want to keep using Crypto Kings for everything. So CK Film Co. is my production company, and I already have it staffed with some really talented people that are surrounding me. So all this is going on behind the scenes while I've been quietly putting this all together. So now I'm publicly putting it out there for you guys that some major stuff has been going on behind the scenes. Well, everybody thought nothing was going on. Well, here's the other kicker. All this is happening in the next month or so, September, October of this year. So by the end of this year, I will seem like I'm an overnight success. Where did I come from? And you guys know, it's been years in the making that it took me to get here. Years in the making of rewriting my story and reinventing myself. And I've succeeded. When people question me, oh, you haven't succeeded yet, because they're looking at money. And I've been able to prove to everyone so far, out of my own pockets, my own wallet, I didn't have to spend a dime, because what I've achieved takes millions and millions of dollars. It's impossible for even a group of small friends of mine to come together and still fund and finance collectively where I've been at. So I've been able to succeed, like in real estate, no money down. I did it. I got here, and so what I want to do is share stories about how I succeeded so I can pass on my method of success to others that are looking to succeed, but they find that they're being shut out everywhere because people are using my past to shut me out. But God gave me a lot of influence and horsepower to work through and make a breakthrough and work past all that. That's why I call myself a trailblazer. Cutting down trees and carving out pathways, blazing new trails for others, and open doors for others to walk through, following my lead. And believe me, it wasn't easy being number one. It's not. I'd rather be number two because it's a lot of less work. But unfortunately, God gave me the big task, and so far I have the victory. And I want to share in that. Everything's a celebration from here on out. But I've arrived, folks, and now it's about all the money showing up. I have money offers being thrown at me. Ever since the deadline article came out about La Matadora and the fact that I onboarded Rudy Youngblood to star in my film, this breakout actor from Mel Gibson's Apocalypto, to be the lead star in my film. Ever since that story broke out last week, I've been flooded with offers of either investments, people wanting to get in and make money with me, emails of other actors wanting to get involved, and emails from sound people, music people. I hope you guys can hear me because this lobby is getting very loud, but again, I'm just wrapping it up. I'm here, I've arrived, and the success is I'm doing these things. So the recap is Crypto Kings will hit Wall Street. We're going for an S1 filing next month or by the latest October for publicly listing on NASDAQ. First movie in Hollywood, that's number one, that's success there. Number two, my success as a film distributor and P&A marketing to get films funded and financed through IPSE or through Exodus. Either way, I can get films financed. But at the lower level, what I want to do is work with a lot of short film investors. Okay, short film. I want to hold short film festivals. I want to create digital content, what they call the vertical video. That's what we're doing right now, vertical video content. And I have within me the horsepower to be able to take anything that I like and be able to put it in a multi-streaming verse. Okay? Anything. Multimedia is what I meant. Multimedia stream verse, converting short film to theatrical full feature films. I have that ability as a mover and shaker in Hollywood. So I'm looking for projects at either the lower level of entry level of just starting out to big box office films. I'm the guy you want to know. Okay, so it's been nice chatting with you folks and giving you an update. All right, we'll see you at the next I guess video content. Let's just call it what it is. Live right now from Mexico City, Mexico. All right, bye.